When Edgar came into Brawl Stars to everyone for free, he took the game by storm. Everywhere you looked, you saw one. Millions of Edgars unleashed on the world simultaneously, and with these numbers also came the delusion that they're invincible. You'll notice that in every game, Edgar has a checklist, and it goes like this. Step 1, emote. Step 2, press gadget. Step 3, hide in the grass or behind a wall regardless of whether or not his team needs him. Step 4, locate the one brawler that will destroy him. And then, Step 5, Kamikaze. Now, once the Bull, Jackie, Primo, Daryl, or Shelly kill him, you think that he would learn, but no, there's a checklist to adhere to. So back up to Step 1, and then inevitably ending again on Step 5. There is no deviation from the list. This is all he knows. It's Kamikaze Edgar. Did you see what you just did there? No? Well, you just made a fatal mistake without even realizing it. You just merely glanced in just the general direction of that crow, and now, yeah, he's made it his personal mission to harass you until every last bit of your sanity has been drained from your mind. I mean, sure, one dagger doesn't do much damage, but they just never stop. And that poison just keeps ticking, and you can't heal, but slowly and surely, your health just decreases more and more and more. I mean, you try to run, but that little feathered fiend is fast and he refuses just to leave you alone. Now, you can try to use your super to get away, but you know that if you make it to the end, you're gonna look over and you're gonna see that smug little smile coming from his beak. And really, you only have yourself to blame. So next time you're in that showdown match and you see a crow in the distance, do not, under any circumstances, gaze just even in his general direction, or you may find yourself the victim of the most annoying brawler in Brawl Stars. Now, one of the best mobile healers in the game is Poco. I mean, he was built to support his teammates and keep everyone safe with the sweet serenity of his healing power. However, a not so rare breed of Pocos is emerging from the shadows. You see, this particular brand of Poco has played second fiddle far too long, and now he wants to stand center stage for all of his adoring fans. And to do this, there is but one tool for the job. Screeching Solo. Gone are the days where you knew that your Poco was there to keep your health bar green. And you can forget about being the aggro brawler when he's in the pack, because apparently that's his job now. It doesn't matter that it comes at your expense. Plain and simple, you can no longer rely on this fame-obsessed mariachi. You could be one hit away from death, and he has his super ready, but you know what's about to happen. Yeah, it's Screeching Solo Poco. Now, every brawler has something that they love. Leon and his lollipops, Colette with her scrapbook, and even Pam and her Twinkies? But Rico might have the most absurd obsession of them all. Walls. He loves them. The proof is in every match that you have ever played with any Rico, ever. I mean, I get it. He's got a cool shot that can bounce off walls, but what I don't think that he understands is that his shot will do damage if it doesn't hit a wall first. Now, you might be thinking that he's doing it just to get the extra bounce damage from the star power, but you'd be wrong. You see, he hasn't even unlocked that ability yet. The truth is, he refuses to shoot at an enemy unless it first touches his faithful companion. It doesn't matter if they're right there and they could be easily killed. Heck, it makes no difference if the enemy is right next to him. If there isn't a wall to bounce those balls off of, well, then they're safe. And God forbid that you actually go into overtime, because in that scenario, his entire worldview gets shattered and just stands there, lost. Because the only thing that mattered in his life was reduced to rubble in a blink of an eye. I mean, we get it, Rico. You love walls, but for all of our sanity, will you please, for the love of God, just please, just hit a normal shot. Now, we always knew that Gene wasn't quite right in the head. I mean, that laugh. I mean, who does that? That, however, was just the first clue in a long line that we should have picked up on, that Jean has an affinity for cuddling with tanks. I know, I get it. You think I've gone off the rails here, but this is the only explanation I've got for why when every game is about to end, Jean uses his super to pull the thickest brawler on the field straight to him, regardless of the scenario. Here's an example. Let's say you're winning and Jean has his super and the clock is winding down. The game is about to end. Now, if that happens, he loses the chance of getting up close and personal with the tank. There is only one way to prolong this encounter. Magic hand, meet tank. The gems are lost and the game continues. Exactly what he wanted. More precious cuddling opportunities. And if you're losing, well, you know what? It doesn't even matter. He's still pulling a tank. There is nothing that you can say or do that will interrupt this special moment. And if it's a Shelly with her super, even better, because it just caps off this beautiful moment in time, like fireworks celebrating their magical interlude. It's Jean, the tank cuddler. Now, without a doubt, a brawler with one of the most game-changing supers is Tara. There is, however, one problem. She's a fraud. Now, I know she seems mystical, and she's supposed to be a psychic, but I'm here to tell you that she isn't. If she was, then she would have no problem anticipating the enemy's every move, but we both know that that's far from the truth, because she will spend the entire game chipping at people from a distance just to build up her super. And let's be real, there isn't anything more scary than a Tara when she lights up her super, but have no fear, because it never fails whenever you need her the most, when the game is on the line and that super is the one thing that will turn it all around. She'll miss, and that's because she's not psychic. She's a fraud, and that victim isn't the other team, it's you. Six bullets of destruction. 6 fiery projectiles with one unified purpose: to obliterate you and all objects from existence. However, there is one problem. They'll never hit you. You see, this Colt teammate has never learned to do the one thing that he actually needs to do: aim. Now, psychologists have done extensive research, and it all stems from that first game that Colt ever played. You see, even though he's a long-range brawler, he ran right up to the toes of everyone in that first game and just mashed that auto-aim button. And it worked. He rained destruction on everything in his path. It was in that singular moment of bliss that the course of his future was mapped out. I mean, why would he learn to aim? It worked so well the first time that it has to work again, right? So he keeps trying, and occasionally he'll get a kill. In that moment, he'll think that he's on the verge of a breakthrough, but then in the next moment, his bullets will go back to flying just behind every enemy brawler. And he can't quite seem to figure out why either. Now, you think that he would be discouraged by now, but you'd be wrong. He's gonna keep pressing play, and then, without even moving his thumb, he's just gonna keep mashing that big, beautiful red button. I mean, sooner or later, it's gotta work, right? Or at least that's what he believes, because he's auto-aim Colt. Now, there's some brawlers who make friends no matter where they go. People love them and just always want to be around them, but at every party there always seems to be that one person standing in the corner, alone, friendless. In Brawl Stars, that person is Mr. P. Don't believe me? I mean, why else would one creep in a penguin suit have a device that allows him to continuously make new friends? Of course, nobody really likes them either. I mean, sure, these penguin porters may be provoking, but they're rarely fatal. The problem is the never-ending stream of them. Add in his gadget and it's like a veritable army of penguins just harassing, annoying, and basically begging you to pay attention to Mr. P. I mean, sure, you can kill one and get a respite from the onslaught, but you know that there's more on the way. And until you turn your gaze towards this rude little penguin and give him the attention that he so desperately craves, he will keep spawning more and more and more. And that, Mr. P, is why you will be forever alone. Now, we all know that Byron is a rather nefarious character. I mean, just look at him. Why would you trust someone like that? But you do. You spawn into a game and you see a Byron and you think, yo, I've got it made because I've got the best healer in Brawl Stars on my team. You think that you've got a good teammate who will always have your back no matter what. And he may throw a heal your way every now and again just to quell your suspicions. And that's when he's got you. Because what you didn't know is he's actually working for the other side. That's the reason he will never choose to heal you, because Byron is actually a double agent sent to infiltrate your team. It's not just a random bad decision when you're on the verge of death and he chooses not to heal you. No, it's all part of the master plan to steal your trophies. I mean, someone has to keep paying for these insane potions that he produces, and that person is you. You have unwittingly signed a contract and now you must pay for it with your life. So the next time that you have a Byron on your team, don't count on him to do the one thing that he was meant to do, because he's not just a bad random who has no regard for the well-being of his teammates. No, he's also a double agent working for your enemy. Now, we all know that Colette is a crazed fan of all the brawlers in Brawl Stars, but what you didn't know is that she has a second job as a structural engineer. Let me explain. Now, I know you've been teamed up with that Colette who gets her super and then just immediately spams the auto-aim button only to travel like 3 tiles and hit a wall. What you didn't know is that there's a reason for that. You see, all the while you just thought that she was the bad random who only knows how to mash buttons as soon as they light up. Well, you're wrong. What she's actually doing is making sure that the walls and the obstacles in Brawl Stars stay strong and firmly planted where they belong. She isn't randomly hitting walls just for the fun of it. She's testing them for their build quality and making sure that they stand strong for the next mortis to dash into 3 times. So the next time you see that one Colette just banging her head against the wall over and over and over, show her some gratitude because she's just doing her job.